Okay, what's up? EclipseDawn here with another tarot reading. This reading is for Leo for the summer months of 2020. So I want to start with the issue at hand. We have the issue at hand. Five of Swords. And it is crossed by the Fool. Leo, it seems to be that you might have felt duped, naive to something. It could be that you thought you could trust something that ended up causing you a lot more struggle. Sabotage, even, is the word I'm hearing. It could be that you were trying to do something new and different, and it turned into a conflict. It could be that the way that you behaved caused a conflict, but you weren't doing it because you meant to cause a conflict, Leo, which is something that Leos do, okay? But it's okay. I just feel like this energy here, this challenge of the Fool card being that you feel now like you've been made a fool of, or that, you know, it was foolish of you to trust something that was not trustworthy here. But really it was more like a conflict that may or may not have been your problem. Okay, Leo? So let's look. Spiritually, there's a lesson here. The lesson is about choosing your battles. Sometimes it gets to be where you're just fighting all the time. And you have to ask yourself, what is it you're fighting for? And on a spiritual level, that means, you know, if you are a spiritual warrior, which a lot of Leos are, you've got to ask yourself now, just because you've been doing this for God for so long, doesn't mean that you have to keep doing it in the way and in the frequency and in the amplitude of what you've done in the past. God is excusing you from this in a way. Like, you can look at it as if you have paid your dues in a lot of ways, spiritually. And that means that you can choose when to set forth and be the aggressor or the defender. Or if you can just walk away or back down or look the other way or whatever. Sometimes it just depends, right? Sometimes it's wrong to look the other way. But when do you know? When do you know? And so you need to assess this. Spiritually, it's time to let go of feeling like you're the one that has to lead the battle every time. It seems as though you have been in the past in a better place. So there was a time in your life that you were feeling more at peace. And you've learned that you can create a certain type of intimacy through vulnerability, and that is a power of yours, that you understand your warmth is your greatest asset, and you've formulated a kind of contract within your heart about how you would go forth in your relationships and in your relationship with yourself. You see, it makes me think of fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. And at this time, like, she might have started with fawn, which means to kind of negotiate with the danger and get it to lessen the blow somehow. And this takes a certain level of courage and intelligence. And there is something to be said about showing vulnerability as a way to fawn or survive. So there's something to be said about that in your past that you've learned about your power, Leo. And in your present, you've come to terms with something here. I feel like you're not going to keep fighting a petty fight. Something is causing you some stress. The way certain people are acting. Maybe it's the way you've been acting, but I feel like, yeah, there's some stuff going on around you, Leo. And it's kind of like, yeah, you know already that you've been in this place of power in your heart, and that you don't need to live in a kind of pious, atrophied, kind of jaded or misaligned behavior, because you've been there. You've been vulnerable to your deepest, beast. And so this doesn't scare you really. So you're like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? Right? And what you're doing here is learning something very valuable. And as Mars goes into Aries, this makes perfect sense here with the Emperor. That you are learning self-love in a way that is self-discipline and in ways of saying no. And that you've learned your lesson. And that you don't have to keep repeating yourself. But it's in a new way. It's a self-defining way. It's in a way where these are both Aries cards, you see. The youth, the freedom that comes with youth when you are just totally invincible. I swear, when you don't realize how mortal you are less mortal. And when you're young, you're less mortal because you don't realize how mortal really, really means, what it means to be mortal. You're still an angel when you're young. And you come to a point where you become to terms with morality. This is Saturn and Aries, And this is time passing and coming into terms with your mortality and your responsibility to life. On all sides, male, female, whatever. On all sides. And the dynamics of that relationship within yourself. This is where you're coming to. This is where you're headed. And it's going to bring a new sense of power into your life. A very powerful, strong energy. Also, you could be lit up with something to do with authority. You could be dealing with something to do with authority. You might be learning from someone older than you in one way or another. Something that has been established, very well established. Okay, that's coming into your life. Excuse me. Leo, we have your attitude is feeling a lot more inspired. I think that you're ready to just say F it, like a big F you to anyone that's holding you back anymore. Basically, only people who can make it through the gate are going to make it close to you, and you're ready to aim and fire towards anything that is going to get in your way. You're coming from a place of creation and passion and even like sexual energy and performance arts and fashion and things that can be seen and recognized and done in a fashion that is done well. And you're coming into this power, and this is very much a Leo energy here with the Queen of Wands. She can be promiscuous sometimes. She can be impulsive, but really she knows who she is, and she's very beautiful and very like magnetized in magnetism, the most like powerful type of creative magnetism. So your attitude is coming into that power, which is great. Now, there's an influence of others that's slowing you down in your work. Maybe you're being told to relax or something, but I also feel like maybe there's some people who are not a good influence on you and are slowing you down on your work. So if that's what's going on, Leo, you might be influenced to not be doing the stuff that you know you need to be doing. And if that's true, like, you need to assess that and look at it honestly and ask yourself if that's what you want, and then do something about it, okay? If it's that you need to stop working so hard and someone is asking you to slow down, also that might be something you need to consider, okay? If somebody is trying to keep you from working and holding you back because they don't want you to succeed, get rid of that energy, because it's time for you. Leo, you really would like to have more options in life, and you would like to be able to choose, but you're also not sure if you know how to handle that. If you were to come across this time in your life when you really had more options, would you choose right? Would you do the right thing? Would you have the knowledge of what is best for you and your loved ones? And would you make that choice? And so you're questioning that, but you want it at the same time, Leo. And you want the life that you've always wanted, and this beautiful life you've always wanted, but do you know how to take care of it? And so you're going back and forth about that. Be really aware about what you do choose, and don't get caught up in having too many options. Like, focus in on one thing that's going to work for you and nail it and do it and finish it, Leo. Choose the thing that you know is best for you and your loved ones right now. Like, the way that you can really nurture yourself and your family, and really being healthy, okay? Then go for it, and go for it, and don't get distracted, okay? This is going to be a challenge for you, and it's going to make you have a new level of maturity. Do not allow anyone to sugarcoat something or misalign you in any way in the future. So I'm going to draw some cards for that. Let me just split this, Leo, because I am wondering. Something from your childhood is being healed, and you're coming to a new level of maturity. Some karma is going to be dealt with in the near future, and you're going to want to be really aware of how you appear to others, okay? Something very important here. Now, wow. Okay, so there might be something going on with younger people in your life. You might have children. You might have 3 children. You might have a younger water sign. You might have an air sign or a fire sign. They're all seeing young energy. This also could be you reconnecting with your inner child and healing the part of you that was emotionally abandoned by coming into seeking the truth and being curious about your own sensuality and what you really want. I do see there's healing going on, but there's a block here from the old karmic pattern that has to do with some kind of emotional abuse when someone was a child. So I see definitely, Leo, that you are coming into a new form of healing into your life. It's gonna be uncomfortable for a moment, and you're gonna have to let go of something that you thought was coming. But it's going to bring you, that's what I was saying, is it's going to bring you to a new level of maturity. And that's what the real outcome is. And this independence you're going to have here. finding your own financial gain, your own power. So really just let that emotional healing happen however you need to, because you're coming into your own now.